Donna Ray George. Joining me in the studio today is a man by the name of Rob Riggle.
Howdy, partners!
Please don't patronize us, Rob Riggle.
All right.
Now, I understand that you want to share with our viewers some great football fan gift ideas. Hey, just in time for the holidays, y'all.
That's right, Donna Ray. And why not start close to home with my Cowboy Christmas collection?
Oh, that looks like a ball.
Yes, this is the Tony Romo Magic 9 ball. Ask it a question.
All right. Should I forgive my husband?
Football questions.
Oh, okay. It's the third down. We're up by 5. What should we do?
Well, now you just shake the ball, and it says, chuck it up.
Well, that is how Tony Romo thinks. It's uncanny.
For the green thumbs out there, it's a Dallas Cowboys leaf blower. It blows leaves like they blow leads.
Oh, now those words are similar.
Or these Tony Romo goggles.
Wow, everyone looks like an open receiver. Completely misreading a defense has never been this much fun. I'm gonna get my husband a pair of these so he'll be less defensive when I ask him why I didn't come home last night.
Well, hey, here's a fun gift for the bathroom.
I love going to the bathroom.
Well, it's the Des Bryant No More Tears shampoo. Donna Ray, do you like music?
Not at all.
Then you're gonna love Christmas Carols by Carol, a collection of Christmas songs written by Pete Carroll about other teams. Here's a taste.
Oh, Gronkowski, you the Pats are missing. Oh, Gronkowski, at least you're not in prison. With broken shins or broken hands, I'm sure you'll still do keg stands.
And that brings me to my final gift idea. It's a new cologne from Michael Strahan entitled Spray Hand.
Wow. Oh, that burns.
That means it's working. And speaking of red hot, here are my picks this week.
No, seriously, that burns like hell.
Eagles.
Gee, Rob, the ladies sure do love the spray hand.
Warning, may attract glazers.
This crap is acid.
Those cameras look familiar. We get a group weight on that? What's going on? Hey, look at the picks. TB, you were 4-0 last week. What happened?
Yeah, I took last week off. It's obvious I had a bad week.
Went from 4-0 to 0-4, but Jimmy is still the lead dog, 2 points ahead of Rob, who takes the Saints to clip Carolina today. He's nipping at your heels, Jimmy.
I like the home team with Carolina.
I'm going with the home team, and that's spray hand cologne. Carolina, baby.
Carolina.
All
right, Rob likes the Eagles tonight to beat the Bears. Jimmy.
Nope, I like Chicago.
Philadelphia. I want to see it come down to the last game against Dallas.
Week 16 of the NFL could be a Sweet 16 for the Redskins as they look to play spoilers against their arch rivals, the Dallas Cowboys. Kevin Burkhardt, John Lynch, and Aaron Andrews, happy holidays.
Kurt, it's the biggest game in Washington, D.C. when the Cowboys come to town, led by Tony Romo. Mike Shanahan's Redskins have been reeling. They've lost 6 in a row, looking to change that today against their division rivals. The Cowboys control their playoff destiny. A huge game in D.C. this afternoon. It's the NFL on Fox on a rainy Sunday afternoon. It's the 7-7 Cowboys taking on the 3-11 Washington Redskins. Hi, everyone. Welcome to the broadcast alongside my partner, 9-time Pro Bowl safety John Lynch. I'm Kevin Burkhardt. So look at the Dallas Cowboys coming in. They do control their playoff destiny, John. You would never know it, though. The storylines in Dallas about the drama, long a 23-point lead to the Packers, but they win 2 games. They're in the postseason.
There's no doubt about it. That loss was about as bad as you get, but fast forward. They control their own destiny. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, if you're Jason Garrett, you're Tony Romo, all the naysayers, you can't deliver in the clutch, you can change that today. You can go a long way towards changing that. Deliver when it matters most. How do you do it? I think it's important you hand it to number 29, DeMarco Murray, and you keep handing it to him. He's the difference maker on this team.
Meanwhile, here are the Redskins. They've lost 6 in a row. They're having a terrible season right now. They've got a backup quarterback in Kirk Cousins in. Yet, John, have you ever seen a team in that situation more confident going into a game?
Well, 6 straight losses. We go meet with them, and they're oozing with confidence. I really believe a large part of that is Kirk Cousins. They've had this shadow hanging over RG3 all season long, from the injury to his relationship with Mike Shanahan. Kirk Cousins comes in. They believe in him. I think the other thing is Jim Haslett has given Tony Romo problems throughout this rivalry. They're a very confident team.
This rivalry goes
And we welcome you back. If you're a fan of Days of Our Lives or General Hospital like Kevin Burkhardt and John Lynch, you will love the soap opera storylines coming out of these two teams. It all started when Washington decided to shut down RG3 for the rest of the year. Then the rumors, was Mike Shanahan done with the team? Could RG3's family have the next coaching candidate in line? And then, of course, for Dallas, them blowing a 23-point halftime lead to Green Bay last week. Jason Garrett saying Tony Romo checked out of a running play, and Des Bryant checking out altogether as he left the field with time left on the clock. We know this. If Dallas can win these next two games, they are in the playoffs. But, Kevin, as you very well know, this Washington team wants to play spoiler, end their season on a brighter note, and keep Dallas out of the postseason.
Aaron, you are right, and a couple things there. The weather today is out of control. It's 64 degrees here in late December in Landover. And now 65. It's a record for this day in history. So that's how warm it is. Rain all day. Couple things from Erin. First of all, she's right, John. We both do love our soap opera. Second of all, with all that being said, if the Cowboys win today and next week, they're in the playoffs. So with all that being said, they still control their playoff destiny. That's the most important thing. Redskins won the toss. They will receive. Bailey kicks it off to Nick Williams, former UConn star. Sprints up to the 20 and then wrestles his way out to the 24, and that's where Washington will have their first possession, led by Kirk Cousins. Back-to-back starts for him.
And Kirk Cousins, he can sling it. This guy can get back there. He can read out a defense, go through his progression, and distribute the ball. 9 players caught passes from Kirk Cousins in the loss to Atlanta last week. They're very excited about Kirk Cousins and what he brings to the table.
Now the Redskins will start it off. Alfred Morris in the eye. Back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for their former 6th-round draft pick. And they'll fake it to Morris. A lot of time for Cousins, and slips through the hands of Morris. And it has been pouring all day here. The field is wet. That'll be an issue. John, this is the thing with the Redskins. If you look at some of the similarities from last year, here's the thing. They didn't turn it over last year. This year, more than double.
Well, we talk about it seemingly every week. It's all about the ball. That's what Pete Carroll says in Seattle. Mike Shanahan went so far. We talked about the confidence of this team going into today. If we protect it, we will win. Mike Shanahan said that. The key's going to be, can they protect it?
Second and 10, and the give to Morris, and Morris is going to lose yardage there. Cowboys played it well, led by George Selvey, who's had a career year for them out on the ends. They played that play pretty well, John, but this year defensively, it's been a nightmare for the Cowboys.
Well, it really has. You know, I think a number of things have affected this defense. Monty Kiffin comes in, runs the 4-3 system. They have 3-4 personnel. Injuries have plagued them all season long. But as we've said over and over again, they control their destiny. Can they put together 2 good weeks of defense and get there to the playoffs?
Roy Halou in the backfield now on a 3rd and 10, and there's some movement on the left side.
False start, illegal snap, number 63. Offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
Trent Williams lined up against DeMarco Murray, and the Cowboys looking for a big effort for him today.
They really are. You see the illegal snap that Bill Levy alluded to, and DeMarco Murray, quick trigger to get off the ball. DeMarco Murray, you've got that feeling. Visiting with them last night. He's ready to play a big game. He's been one of those players, the great players that hasn't delivered. He's been injured throughout the season, nagging injuries. He feels healthy. We'll see if he can come up big when they need him most.
Goes it back to a 3rd and 16. Set it up to Halou on the screen, who slips down, and the Redskins will go 3 and out on their opening possession. That brings Sav Rocca out. And newly signed Michael Spurlock, brought in this week because of the injury to Dwayne Harris. And the first time these two teams met, John, back in week 6, special teams won the game for Dallas. Harris had 222 return yards by himself, including a touchdown on a punt. Here's Spurlock's first chance as a Cowboy. Makes the first man miss, and the second. It's Spurlock with room. Michael Spurlock, first touch as a Cowboy, and he's inside the 5. Welcome to Dallas, Michael Spurlock.
And what a terrific block right at the point by Danny McCray, and then Spurlock. He's been doing this for a long time. He goes to work, just signed, but finds the creases in this Washington Redskins special team that has been awful all season long. Kevin, you alluded to the fact it was the difference in week 6 when the Cowboys beat the Redskins. Different returners, same result.
Again, they had 222 return yards in that week 6 Cowboy win, and on that punt return, it's 45 for Spurlock. And on the Cowboys' first possession, they're set up. That's Keith Burns, not thrilled with that result, and a 1st and goal for the Cowboys. Tony Romo's got DeMarco Murray back there with him. They fake it to him, and throwing for the end zone, incomplete. He was looking for Terrance Williams, but Josh Wilson on the coverage.
Well, Tony Romo puts it on the money to Terrance Williams. Josh Wilson does a tremendous job of finishing the play, getting that hand in there. There's the matchup outside. Going to go on the slant. Looks like a touchdown, but the finish by Wilson gets the ball out. See the double on Des Bryant.
It's Miles Austin in motion. And this time they give it to Murray. Breaking through, and Murray is going to get in for the touchdown. And the Cowboys, after the big return from Michael Spurlock, get the touchdown run from Murray, his 9th of the year, to take a 6-0 lead.
The Cowboys load up on that left side of the line, and DeMarco Murray, who's been hot of late, when they give it to him, does the rest. Hard running by DeMarco Murray.
So that was quick for the Cowboys. Again, special teams coming into play. Just a 2-play, 3-yard drive on the run by Murray.
Watch this run, and Jarvis Jones, he's going to pop free. He's got an opportunity to make the tackle, but this is what DeMarco Murray does. He's a strong runner, continues to keep those legs churning. Senses that end zone's right there. Outstanding run by DeMarco Murray.
Now Bailey's extra point is up and good. And just like that, with 12:49 to go in this first quarter, it's the Cowboys 7.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com.
Well, special teams have been atrocious for the Redskins all year long. Dallas killed them on it their first matchup of the year, and then with Dwayne Harris hurt, John, they go out and sign Michael Spurlock, an accomplished returner off the street, and he returns 162 yards to set up the Cowboys' first touchdown of the day. This is Nick Williams, who will take it out from 4 yards deep. And Williams, a nifty little return to get across to 25.
You want to know how you get a long return? Look at the effort. Danny McCray with the first key block. Great effort to get his hands in front. And then Jeff Heath on Dowdy right there. That's the key block. Spurlock does the rest. Outstanding work by Rich Bisaccia, the new special teams coordinator in Dallas's unit.
Well, when you look at this year, as there's a Redskin player down, they're tending to Nick Barnett, the former Packer right now. Here's Washington and Washington, right? D.C., the nation's capital, to Seattle, Washington. A lot of miles separating the cities. We did the Seattle Giant game last week, John. Their punt coverage team's the best in the NFL, maybe historically the best. The Redskins, as far as they are across the country, that's as far as they are apart in that category.
And almost the 4th touchdown there. There's Keith Burns. He's an old teammate of mine, was an outstanding special teams player. I really feel he's a good coach. I think the biggest thing about this special teams unit, the cap hit this team took, the cap penalty that they've taken, it hurts them most on special teams.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, they check on Nick Barnett. We'll take a break. Cowboys 7-0 over Washington early.
By Bud Light, official beer sponsor of the NFL.
Rainy conditions in our nation's capital today. Wish you a happy holidays. Along with John Lynch and Aaron Andrews, I'm Kevin Burkhardt. Big game in the NFC East. Redskins trying to play spoiler. The Cowboys control their playoff destiny, and the special teams a big factor for Dallas against Washington this year. Michael Spurlock just signed an accomplished return of 5 career return touchdowns, almost brought another one to the house, and now it's Kirk Cousins on the second series for him, who fires one over the middle and somehow got through to Pierre Garcon, who's all the way up to the 43-yard line, a 17-yard gain on a Redskin first down.
One thing about Kirk Cousins, he doesn't lack confidence. He gets back there and he lets it rip. That ball in a very small window to Pierre Garcon, a ton of confidence in him. And that's what Kirk Cousins plays with. For a guy who's played as little NFL football as he has, he's got tremendous confidence to his game.
How about that? Garcon having a career year, second in the league in catches, and could break the all-time Redskin record held by Art Monk. Now that is some company. Here's Morris, and a good cut upfield and a good run as Morris is going to pick up 5 out to the 48-yard line. Yeah, Cousins is not doesn't look like an NFL quarterback, John, but you know you see him and you're like, man, he really can throw.
Well, he can throw it, and then he acts like an NFL quarterback. The great ones, we get a chance to sit down with them every week. Peyton Manning's of the world, the Drew Brees, they all act a certain way. They're anal about details, and that's Kirk Cousins. He's a type A personality. He's going to be prepared. He's going to get it to the right receiver. Sometimes he will make some mistakes because he does have so much confidence in that arm of his.
That's Garcon in motion. It's a 2nd and 5. And it's Morris, who patiently looks for a hole and gets to midfield before he's taken down there by DeMarcus Ware and Nick Hayden. Gain of 2. And a 3rd and short. This Cowboys defense trying to hold it together today.
Watch DeMarcus Ware. Excuse me, he came right up the middle, but you see the burst right there from DeMarcus Ware that you like to see, and that's what he, in discussing with him this week, this season, he said the quick twitch, John, it's back, and that's what he thrives on. That's where he beats people. The get off, the quickness. There's Sean Lee, the outstanding middle linebacker. Been hampered by that neck.
Yeah, say trying to hold it together. They're having a historically bad year, and with that guy out, it's a challenge. 3rd down and short for Cousins. Over the middle, 1st down. It's Garcon again, making a big impact on this drive, and the Redskins move the chains.
Cousins does a really nice job here of taking what the Cowboys give him. Only a 3-man rush. They're going to drop in coverage. And that's DeMarcus Ware who makes the tackle. DeMarcus Ware dropped in coverage. Sometimes you need to do that. I'd be rushing him. I'd let him go after Kirk Cousins.
Cousins using that vision pretty well. Logan Paulson in motion. They get a fake reverse. Cousins with all kinds of time. Can't find anyone open, though. Now comes the pressure, and he very alertly throws it away. Good coverage, Dallas secondary there. Didn't see anybody open.
Really good coverage by the Dallas secondary. Cousins is a guy that will go through his progression. He went through about 4 of them right there, and just tight coverage throughout the secondary of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the 3rd NFL start for Cousins. Remember, he came in relief of Robert Griffin III last year when he got hurt and won that big game in Cleveland. Then last week, a loss by a point in Atlanta. This is his first home start today. On 2nd and 10, pressure from Selvey. Cousins unloads, incomplete. He got hit just before he let it fly. And a 3rd and 10 coming up. He's looking for Robinson over the middle.
You talk about get off. Selvey, George Selvey going to come off. They got Logan Paulson responsible. He just beats him with his get off. Gets right up in Kirk Cousins' face and affects that throw. Hits the arm. The ball sails. Kirk Cousins very fortunate it wasn't picked. That's what you talk about. That's what Rod Marinelli, the defensive line coach for the Cowboys, teaches. Get off. Get off the ball and pressure the quarterback.
First quarter, Redskins have been behind so much. They were down 14-0 before you could blink last week. That's the most points allowed in the first in the league. Play clock at 2. They've got to hurry. Cousins gets it off. Blitz coming. Back to throw. Incomplete. And maybe intercepted by Barry Church. They say no. Incomplete. That one hit the ground. He was looking for Garcon, but heavy pressure.
As Kyle Shanahan upset about something, but Monty Kiffin dialing up the pressure early, and this defense that has been so bad and was so bad last week has actually looked very good thus far today in 2 series.
Here's Rocca, who's had a tough year punting, and this one gets a good Redskin bounce, a big break. big break and all the way rolling back down at the 2. So the Cowboys will start it off at the shadow of their own end zone. They're up 7-zip in the first.
This game on Fox is sponsored by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
Well, during the holiday season, if this doesn't make you get emotional, I don't know what does. AD3 Jerron Hunter of the U.S. Navy. They had his parents here to honor him. They had a tape message from Hunter to show on the board, "We miss you," and then he comes out and they're reunited. I mean,
it's a great move by Dan Snyder and the Washington Redskins. That never gets old, Kevin. We're seeing these more and more, and what a treat for Christmas for that family.
We're in the first quarter here. Landover, Maryland, and it's the Cowboys 7, Redskins nothing. So Dallas started their first possession on the Redskin 3, now backed up on their own 2. And try and get a little breathing room to Murray, but Dowdy and a couple of others there, and Murray gets maybe a yard. Didn't get a chance to really introduce Tony Romo because of the big Spurlock punt return, but here he comes, here's the thing, John. We know he's had a real good career, but this is the time that's been his bugaboo.
Well, you know what, I look at it, and I think Tony looks at it the same way. What a great opportunity. You want to dispel that type of talk that he doesn't deliver in the clutch. Go deliver. He's got the opportunity in the next 2 games to get his team to where it matters most, the playoffs. All you want to do is get in the tournament.
Play clock is winding down. They're not even out of the huddle. I think they may change this year because there was a slippery ball they changed out. Yeah. Play clock's at 14 now, so they did add some seconds. Pressure. Romo looking for Dez Bryant, incomplete. He had D'Angelo Hall all over him, and now a 3rd down. Cowboys at their own 3, and now Bryant did not get up.
It looks like that right shoulder. He landed on that right shoulder as he went to the ground, and that right shoulder is hurting Dez Bryant. You see him with the one-on-one. D'Angelo Hall, tremendous job in coverage. Watch at the end, down on that right shoulder, and Dez Bryant tries to get up. That right shoulder hurting.
Well, clearly that's a guy you can't lose. I mean, Dez Bryant is the playmaker on this team. He's a 1,000-yard receiver. He's 7th in the NFL, John, with 11 receiving touchdowns. Absolutely have to have him today.
He's their go-to guy. He's Tony Romo's go-to guy. And you talk to the Cowboys, what are they as an offense? They talk about an attacking style offense. They want to run the football. Some would say they don't do it enough. But then they want to get those one-on-ones with Dez Bryant. If he's out, that's a crucial and critical loss.
That was his number last week against Green Bay. He went for 153 yards and a touchdown in that one. His career high, 224 yards in a game against New Orleans. But the Cowboys will at least have to do this 3rd and 9 without him. Terrance Williams on to replace Bryant. He's at the bottom of your screen, the rookie from Baylor. Romo unloads over the middle, incomplete. Looking for Miles Austin, but that was a ground ball, and now it'll be a punt from Chris Jones from the only end line.
Jim Haslett always has something different for Tony Romo. They're going to show the pressure. They only bring 4, but Arakpo comes unblocked. Tony Romo goes to throw hot. Essentially a throwaway. Nice defensive series, keeping the Cowboys pinned by the Redskins D.
Already shown you that the Redskins punt coverage teams have been bad, but they haven't found a guy to return it either. Santana Moss has been the 5th player to return a punt. He muffed one last week against Atlanta. And the veterans got some room. Moss inside the 40, and the Redskins set up with good field position. And so the Redskins defense gets a hold, and they set up their offense with great field position. .808 to go first quarter. Cowboys 7-0 on a DeMarco Murray 3-yard touchdown run. And now the Redskins, after a good punt return by Santana Moss, Set up with a 1st and 10 at the Cowboy 37. And it's Alfred Morris with a big hole up the middle. Bruce Carter makes the tackle, but Morris going to pick up 8 yards.
Well, Alfred Morris has been the Cowboy killer. You're going to see DeMarco Ware get upfield. That opens up a big gap right in there. That space for Alfred Morris. He sees the space and he gets downhill. That's that type of one-cut running. You find the hole, you put your foot in the ground and get downhill.
Look, 80! Look, 80! Hot! 180! Wait up!
On 2nd and 3, it's Morris again, and Morris going to be, looks like a hair shy. It'll be a 3rd down and 1 coming up. You know, Morris, it's amazing, John. Drafted in the 6th round out of Florida Atlantic. You've talked about his success against Dallas. Look at the 3 career games. He was never better than last year. Week 17, winner gets in the playoffs and wins the division. He went for 200 yards and 3 scores against these Cowboys.
He's been the Cowboy killer for sure. Had a 45-yarder in week 6 of this year. His one bugaboo this season has been holding on to the football. So look for Dallas to try to get after that ball with Alfred Morris.
3rd down and 1. They go to Morris again and pushes the pile forward for a Redskin 1st down. Three-yard run for Morris.
It's just good hard running, and Terrance Williams gets the best of this matchup. That's going to be an intriguing one all day with DeMarco Ware.
And the Redskins hurried up to the line. Morris almost bobbled that snap, and the Cowboys ready for it there. Jason Hatcher's had a real good year. Nick Hayden was there on the play. It's a loss of 2.
You see the key when you have this zone running scheme, a lot of it's going sideways, and the best thing you can do is get upfield and penetrate. That disrupts the zone scheme. Penetrate or push the lineman back, and that's the challenge on Nick Hayden in the Cowboys front today.
Roy Halou in at tailback now. He's their pass catching threat on a 2nd down and 12. They split Garcon to the top of the screen. Time for Cousins hitting Garcon on the cross, but that's only going to get 2 yards. Defended well by Orlando Scandrick, and now a 3rd and 10.
That's what really this defense that Monty Kiffin coaches is built upon, and that's where they've been failing. You're going to get back in zone coverages, but you better come up and tackle it. Scandrick did it to perfection right there. You haven't seen a whole lot of that from the Cowboys this season. A lot of missed tackles. At the moment of truth, they haven't been making the plays.
You know that guy, John. Your former defensive coordinator, Monty Kiffin, in his 1st year in Dallas. On a 3rd and 10 for the Redskins. Blitz coming against Cousins. Back foot Garcon. And another good tackle by Orlando Scandrick. That'll stop him shy of the 1st down. That is, by the way, the 100th catch of the year for Garcon.
And that is a big-time tackle. This is a strong runner. What do football games come down to? Blocking and tackling. When it's all said and done, that's a tough tackle in space, and Scandrick makes 2 of them on consecutive downs to get the Cowboys off the field.
Now this is no gimme. Kai Forbath, who's been a little erratic this year, off a very sloppy middle of the field. It'll be a 36-yard try. See only 13 field goals, 13 of 17 on the year. Sav Rocca, the punter, is the holder. Snap is down, and the kick is up and good. So the field goal by Forbath gets the Redskins on the board. Cowboys up 7-3 in the 1st. 7 plays, 19 yards. The field goal from Forbath. It was all set up by the 18-yard punt return from Santana Moss and Pierre Garcon. 100 catches on the year. Right now, that's number 1 in the NFL. Michael Spurlock had a 62-yard punt return to set up the Cowboys touchdown back on this kickoff. Just signed this week with the injury to Dwayne Harris. Spurlock running up at the 2. And very patiently meandering his way up to the 22. John Lynch, this January, a showdown between 2 of the most explosive offenses in the country. 13th ranked Oklahoma State squaring off against 8th ranked Missouri at the AT&T Cotton Bowl Classic. Coverage begins Friday, January 3rd, 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox.
That's an old Big 8 classic. Des Bryant, former Oklahoma State Cowboy. Good news for Cowboy fans. He's back out there. That shoulder looks like it's well enough for him to be out.
Yeah, went down the last series. Aaron Andrews said he was doing push-ups during the break, so I guess he's just fine. And a 1st and 10 for the Cowboys. Going to give it up the middle, and a short gain that time for Murray. Well, rushing for the Cowboys, never more talked about than this week in Dallas after last week when they were gouging the Packers, John, and only handed the ball off 7 times in the second half to that guy.
After he ran for 8.5 yards per carry in the first half, and this has really been the thing that is bizarre is that they run it well when they do run it. You see the yards per carry, 4.6, but the attempts per game, 31st in the league. There's Bill Callahan taking a lot of heat, and I think deservedly so this week.
Well, they're going to give it to Murray again, and Murray working to get outside. And is going to pick up 3 yards. Perry Riley Jr. on the stop. And Murray's working against a Redskin defense that has let up points galore this year. Matter of fact, most in the league, 2nd most in team history.
You know, the interesting thing, they aren't that bad in all the different categories. I think, again, it comes down to the turnover margin. They're 27th in the league with a -8. They've given it away a lot. They haven't taken it away enough. There's Jim Haslett, the coordinator for the Washington defense.
It'll be a 3rd down and 4 for Tony Romo. He's got time, and he fires to Jason Witten, who makes the catch. And Witten has a Cowboy 1st down. He's up to the 35-yard line. E.J. Biggers with the tackle.
A really nice throw from Romo, but watch this matchup. Tyron Smith on Arakpo. Really stalemates Arakpo, who's been hot of late, who's been getting after opposing quarterbacks. That's a critical matchup. To give Tony Romo time, you better block Brian Arakpo.
So now 1st down for Dallas. They've handed to Murray 4 times for 10 yards so far today, and they'll give it to him again. And off to the right side for a short gain. John, here's the thing about Murray. We're talking about their average per carry, how they don't give it to him enough. History says when you feed him the ball, they've won. Look at this number. That'll tell you all you need to know.
And what's somewhat perplexing is that it happened the first 3 weeks of the season. You got 2 wins out of it. Why would you go away from it? I understand you've invested a lot in your quarterback, but balance always wins in this league. And when you get up, especially, run the heck out of it.
Romo finds Jason Witten again. Josh Wilson on the stop, gain of 5. It'll bring up a 3rd down and short. And I think, you know, when you look at it, Dallas is not going to be the Redskins offense. They're not going to pound it all day long, but they need to pound it when they're ahead, at least, right?
Absolutely. You think of Troy Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmitt Smith, those old Cowboy teams. They used to get up on people with Troy Aikman going 15-18 at half, and then give it to Emmitt Smith and pound a team into submission. Need a little bit more of that killer instinct when it matters most for the Cowboys.
Redskins defense actually been good on 3rd down this year. They're 35%, 6th in the league. Play clock at 0. And the Redskins, rather the Cowboys, I don't believe got it off.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, Jim Haslett, the defensive coordinator for the Washington Redskins, has given Romo fits over the years, and what he does, different game plan every time. Last time it was just keep the ball in front, very passive game plan in terms of blitz looks. Last year in week 17, it was coming, bringing the house on him, showing a lot of different looks. He told us we'll have something for him today.
Cowboys need to get it across the 45 for a 1st down.
Showing the pressure. We'll see if they come or back out.
Again, play clock at 2. Pressure coming. Romo in trouble, and down he goes. Brandon Merriweather on the safety blitz, and the Cowboys will punt it away.
They're going to overload this side with their 2 best rushers, Arakpo and Kerrigan. That leaves Merriweather, the safety, as the free runner. Tony Romo's got to find a hot receiver and get rid of that football. Nothing there, and he takes the sack.
Redskins defense with the sack. It takes us to the end of the first quarter from FedEx Field. London Fletcher's final home game. It's the Cowboys in front. DeMarco Murray's touchdown, 7-3. Start of the second quarter from Landover. 7-3 Cowboys, and the Redskins on the punt from Jones. Good Dallas bounce, and now Moss will prevent it from going any further. And the Redskins will take it from there. It's been an interesting 2 weeks for these Redskins.
You know, coach decided to shut me down for the rest of the season.
The best thing to do for Robert was to not play him, give Kirk an opportunity to play. We made a decision that I think is the best for Robert. Do you protect your quarterback or don't you protect your quarterback?
Well, that decision has their star #1 pick not only not playing but inactive for the last 3 games. It's got to be strange for him on the bench. We'll get to that after this play. 1st and 10 for Kirk Cousins. Washington ball on their own 21. And they stretch it out to Morris, and a good cut but slipped. That could have been an even bigger run. So, John, here's the question. You saw Shanahan's decision. How does it help Griffin get better if he's not playing?
Well, I don't think it does. And I think, you know, you just heard Mike Shanahan said you got to protect Robert Griffin. Where was the protection when his health was compromised early in the season? Doesn't make a lot of sense in a lot of different angles. Now, Mike Shanahan will tell you what he needs is an offseason to develop as a drop back passer. He hasn't had that. He thinks the offseason is critical. The season was lost, and he's given Kirk Cousins the valuable reps.
On a 2nd down, it's Cousins. All kinds of time. He had Paulson open, but he didn't see him, and he's going to run it anyway, and he's going to have a 1st down for Washington. Well, when we met with Shanahan, John, you know, I asked him about, you know, what do you think he can learn from this? And he said, well, he thinks there's a difference watching the game live and hearing the play call and watching the secondary things like that as opposed to watching on film.
Well, you know, I get that. But to me, you know, who played in this league, I didn't play quarterback. There's nothing like experience, game experience on the field. Kirk Cousins said it. I got better in the last 2 weeks than in my whole time in the NFL because I've had a chance to get reps and valuable game reps. You learn more from that under stress than anything, and I think that goes for Robert Griffin as well.
Hard count from Cousins. Let's see if there's some movement on the Redskins. Bill Levy, our referee today.
Neutral zone infraction, number 99 defense, 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
It's on George Selvey, former 7th round Rams draft pick. Kirk Cousins in his first home start, coming off a game against Atlanta where he threw for 381 yards. So far today, 5 of 9, 34 yards. After the penalty, it's a 1st and 5, and here's Morris. And Morris still on his feet across midfield, and Heath is there to prevent an even bigger game. But Alfred Morris getting some traction on the sloppy field for 18 yards.
Well, a lot of people talk about the coaching. Well, there's an 8-man front. You've got all the people you need to stop the run, but you got to do what you're supposed to do. If the fullback's getting out of here, the linebacker, Hallman, the rookie, you got to be outside and turn that back to your help. He doesn't get there. Alfred Morris finds the hole. Lack of execution, not bad coaching.
There's a man down on the field. Cowboys check on him. Redskins on the move, trailing by 4 in the 2nd.
This is nice.
I know. Only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more.
Cowboys have been decimated with injuries. I mean, last week you had to really check the chart to see who was playing linebacker. The rookie Devontae Holloman just went out. They're without Sean Lee. They're without Justin Durant. Ernie Sims is also out. Ori Lemon has just checked in. They just signed him this week. Number 98 in at linebacker. As Morris gets no gain on the play.
You know, having played in this system too, the linebacker position is so rule intensive. Before the snap ever happens, just to get lined up in this system, very complex. If you don't have the reps, you really don't have a chance. And Holloman, a rookie, he goes out. Now Lemon comes in. He just got here. It's tough. It's tough what the Cowboys have been going through with all the injuries and their best player out at the linebacker position.
Only positive is that they got Bruce Carter back this week, number 54. He's a good player. Cousins comes near side, and on his back, Pierre Garcon makes his 101st catch of the year. Who needs footing?
See Robert Griffin III appreciating it. This is just an incredible feat of athleticism on his back, going to the ground, but the concentration, the strong hands to bring it in. That's how you go over 100 receptions in a season as an NFL receiver. Pierre Garcon continues his tremendous season.
And he's 5 away from tying Art Monk's all-time Redskin record. 3rd down and 4 as Garcon comes in motion. Cousins with time over the middle, wide open. It's Garcon again, rumbling inside the 20 and taken down inside the 10. Wilcox on the tackle, 1st and goal, Washington.
Well, Brandon Carr right there, man-to-man. But watch Logan Paulson run the traffic, the pick route that frees Garcon. Kirk Cousins finds the right guy. And Garcon does the rest. Pierre Garcon having a great game on top of a great season.
He's got 6 catches for 67 yards after that 27-yard gain. And now a 1st and goal for Washington. Morris. And Morris going to take it inside the 8. Going to be a 2nd down coming up for Washington. Well, Garcon, you know, it's a great story. The former Indianapolis Colt came over here and got a contract last year. Johnny went to Mount Union, which those of you don't know, what's Mount Union? It's a Division III powerhouse. They've won 17 national titles. Actually, they just lost yesterday, snapped their 29-game win streak to Wisconsin Whitewater. So Garcon, I'm sure, was sad, but not today with this play. Their dump off, and going to get inside the 5. Darrell Young, who we didn't think would play today with a hamstring injury, the fullback. They're bringing up a 3rd and goal.
Well, Kirk Cousins starting to feel a rhythm, and this offense starting to feel a rhythm. You get that run game going, then the play action comes off it. Kyle Shanahan really getting a rhythm as a player, and I think Kirk Cousins coming in to the game last week really freed Kyle Shanahan as a play caller. You can really attack coverages and offenses as opposed to running plays and designing plays for Robert Griffin's athleticism.
That's Roy Halou, the running back, in motion now. The empty backfield, and now there's some movement. Santana Moss jumped.
False start. Number 89 offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
See the shifting and the motioning. Cousins trying to get things set. And Santana Moss, the wily veteran, typically does not make mistakes in his 13th year. Makes one there.
And so Cousins will have to reset and move it back to a 3rd and goal from just outside the 7.
Garcon.
Play clock at 2. Cousins looking. Garcon has it. And no signal for a touchdown, but there is a flag.
It's going to be an illegal shift on Garcon. He moved after the motion.
Illegal shift. Offense. 2 men moved and did not come set prior to the snap. 5-yard penalty. Repeat 3rd down.
You saw confusion from the start in 2 plays in a row. They've got some great rhythm, but Paulson's going to move in the motion, and Garcon's going to step up. Prior to that, he had stepped up on the line of scrimmage while Logan Paulson was already moving on the motion. Those are the little things that have plagued this team all year, and they frankly can't happen for an NFL team.
I mean, you had a 3rd and goal at the 2, and now you're backed up beyond the 12. And now another whistle, and the Redskins call a timeout.
Washington.
My goodness.
They're first.
It was a nice looking drive until the last couple of seconds, and now the Redskins will talk it over. Try to take the lead over the Cowboys. Here's that last penalty. So after 2 penalties and a timeout, it's 3rd and goal for the Redskins at the 12. Cousins over the middle, and that's not going to get it done. Santana Moss with the catch. And it'll be Kai Forbath coming on to kick a short field goal.
We saw the illegal shift. Now Logan Paulson shifts back. Before he goes in motion, Garcon needs to step up. You're going to see the motion happen and the step up onto the line of scrimmage by Garcon at the same time. That makes it an illegal shift. Mike Shanahan upset, but they clearly were wrong.
And the reason is you have to have 7 on the line. You saw Paulson point over there telling him to get up before he moved. Obviously he didn't. Thus the penalty. Now Forbath from 22 yards out. And the kick is up and good. So a couple of Kai Forbath field goals. That drive could have been a lot better for Washington, but they creep within a point. Big rivals going at it here in our nation's capital.
Today's game is sponsored by Taco Bell. Sometimes you gotta live Moss.
You need that wire brush today. It is wet and sloppy, although the rain has really calmed down. It was pouring here earlier today. It's a lot less than it was for sure. And the Redskins have moved the football, but haven't been able to punch it in. A couple penalties hurt them there. 7-6 Cowboys, who will get the ball off the Forbath kick. Michael Spurlock. Take it on out. And this time the Redskins have good coverage, where we get a flag down at the 30-yard line. So let's see what that is. Jose Gums was there to make the tackle, and now the Cowboys down hurt. That's Kyle Wilbur. We get another flag in around the 20. That flag just came in, the one next to Wilbur. And Wilbur is another Cowboy linebacker. They literally will have nobody else to play the position if he gets hurt. I mean, that's how dire the need is, how many injuries they've had at that spot.
Last week, Kevin, they go with the backups. Ernie Sims, who's a backup, he's got a communication system in his helmet. Justin Durant, who's been in and out with health. And you're going to see
During
17 right here.
Holding. Number 51 of the receiving team.
He gets the hold. He brings him down, and he's the one who's hurt. But last week, they were left with no one with the communication system in their helmet. They're hand signaling. And it's just been decimating the injuries to the Dallas Cowboys linebackers.
Couple big games going on today. Let's get our first game break of the day with Kurt.
All right, the New Orleans Saints try an onside kick just after
the Super Bowl against the Indianapolis Colts. Sean Payton coming out of half with the onside, not afraid to go for the trick plays when it matters most.
Carolina held. They got a big run, I think, from Pierre Thomas getting inside the 10, but they held there. And so now it's 7-6 Cowboys with 7:28 go in the first half. Dallas again backed up the shadow of their own end zone. They'll start this drive out on the 7. And they'll get it to Murray. Nice cutback. And Wilson looking for a hold there. Look at Murray with the big run. Still on his feet. And he's in the Redskin territory. A 43-yard run for Murray.
And this is why you hand the ball to DeMarco Murray and you keep handing it to him. Watch the great block by Jason Witten, but then watch the stiff arm. Here comes Reed Doughty, get off me. And then he turns the corner, looks so much like Eric Dickerson with that long, tall stride. DeMarco Murray, an outstanding talent. They got to utilize him more. And Des Bryant says, keep running, DeMarco. And also keep handing it to him, Bill.
That certainly works. Murray now over 1,000 yards on the season, and a good fake from Romo. Looking to air it out deep, wasn't there. They'll give it to Murray. You know, DeMarco Murray, he's been hurt a little bit in his career in his time with Dallas. He missed 2 games this year with a sprained knee, but now with 1,000 yards, the first Cowboy, how about this? First Cowboy 1,000-yard rusher since Julius Jones in 06. Only the second one since Emmitt Smith left. They're dying for a back like this.
And I tell you what I respected was the poise he showed, because you know he was upset. You know he was as hot can be because he had so much success running it. He wanted that ball last week. You got to give it to him. You got to keep giving it to him.
Former Oklahoma Sooner third-round pick. It's a 2nd and 6. Fake it to him here. Pressure and Romo. Beautiful footwork. Finds Dez Bryant, who's got it inside the 20. And they'll mark that one down right around the 15-yard line.
We hear so much about what's wrong with Tony Romo, but what's right is the ability to extend plays, reset, eyes downfield, and find your #1 target in Dez Bryant. Nobody does it better than Tony Romo. Slides to the right, eyes downfield, finds the soft spot in the zone, and delivers an accurate football.
Cowboys are tremendous in the red zone. They are 3rd in the league at 70%. They're 20% better than last year. They've really improved. And here's Murray up the gut for a gain of 2. John, you talked about feeding DeMarco Murray here, but I think this illustrates your point even more.
Well, I'm not making it up. I mean, there's a pattern to it. And in the first half, they give it to him. He does it with great success, and then for some reason, they go away from him. Again, I understand you've got Tony Romo, you've got Dez Bryant, but there's a time and place. Get up and hammer people with that run to finish people off.
Romo on 2nd down, all kinds of time against a 4-man rush. Thought about running. Kerrigan coming, still on his feet, airing it out for Bryant. That goes to Nowheresville. Thought for a second he was going to take off. He could have.
Well, I think he would have been wise to take off because there was a lot of green grass there. I think what Tony knows is that Dez Bryant can make so many plays. We saw it at the end, but look at all that green grass. There's positive yards to be made. Take off and get them. But he knows he's got Dez, who can make so many plays in the back of that end zone like he did last week against the Green Bay Packers.
There's 9.5 seconds before he threw the ball. 9.5.
9 Mississippi.
You only count 5 Mississippi on the playground. What's that? 3rd and 9 for Dallas. Play clock at 2. Blitz coming. Look at the deep by Romo. Now can he find someone? He does! What a play by Romo! Touchdown, Bryant. Oh, that was sweet.
The Redskins sit there and magnificent. Watch E.J. Biggers. This is a safety, a cornerback. Romo sets him up, pulls the John Elway spin, keeps his eyes downfield, finds Dez Bryant. That is wonderful quarterbacking, wonderful athleticism by Tony Romo.
And how about the body control from Bryant, John? What did Romo tell us about Bryant? You know, he's talking about him and singing his praises. So he does a fantastic job adjusting his body. He could put it in a weird position to come down with the ball. He came down with that one, a 14-yard touchdown, his 12th of the year. And the Cowboys up their lead over the Redskins in Landover. There's no other way to say it. That play by Tony Romo was incredible.
Phenomenal. That's as good as it gets. And Dez Bryant, fabulous, fabulous receiver. A lot of talk about Dez Bryant leaving the field on the Cowboys before the game was over last week. We'll get to that in a second.
First, it's Bailey's kickoff, and it's Nick Williams who will take it on out. Williams, and he gets across the 20 and knocked down there by Tanner. But here's what you're talking about last week. And Dez Bryant had a great game, John. I mean, 153 yards, a touchdown. Packers couldn't stop him. But what you can't have is what happened at the end.
Tough loss. He sees it unraveling, and he walks off the field. Now, he's got an explanation. He wanted to remove himself. You see 122 in the 4th quarter. You can't ever put yourself above the team. I think the Cowboys should have come down hard with a fine, even a suspension for Dez Bryant. You cannot do that.
And Morris on the carry. Kyle Wilbur back in. So is Devontae Holloman. So we told you about those linebackers banged up, both back in the game. Let's go down the field with Aaron Andrews for more on that.
Yeah, Kevin, just really quickly on Kyle Wilber. He has a big gash underneath his helmet there. They actually have a huge Band-Aid covering it. He's fine. He's good to go. They were working on his helmet, though, quite a bit just to make sure the helmet wouldn't actually open the Band-Aid and open that gash back up.
Hey, White!
Gotcha, Aaron. You know, he took that, remember, he took that hard shot on the special teams where he got called for the hold. He took a shoulder pad right up to the face. Cousins, pressure in his face. He finds Fred Davis, who came out of his invisibility cloak to catch a touchdown last week. And he's getting some time because of the injury to Jordan Reed. It's a shame, John. Jordan Reed looked like he was developing into a star. A month ago, got concussed against the Eagles, and his season is over.
Well, Jordan Reed, outstanding football player they found from Florida. And this would be the game. All the injuries to the middle of this Dallas defense, he's a guy who could take advantage of it. Kyle Shanahan and Mike Shanahan think the future is so bright for Jordan Reed, and I believe right there with him.
Cousins going to dump it over the middle to Paulson, and that's only going to get you 1.5 yards. Devontae Holloman there. Well, John, you wanted to finish on Bryant there, talking about him leaving the field early.
Well, I just think it's when you do that, when adversity hits, you've got to be able to respond. Your teammates can't count on you, and that will rear its ugly head at some point. And I understand Des Bryant, an emotional player. We're all emotional players. Competitive player, we're all competitive. That's not okay, and I don't believe the Cowboys made that clear to Des Bryant.
Meanwhile, Morris gets buried in the backfield. Jason Hatcher has had a good year coming into the game with 9 sacks. You know, we talked about the Cowboys' injuries, John, but think about this. You're supposed to have Jay Ratliff in the middle. You're supposed to have Anthony Spencer outside. I mean, a lot of impact players, but Hatcher's really filled in and done a nice job in that interior line. Of course, Lee, who's out with the neck injury.
Some of their best players. When you talk to the Redskins, Spencer was their best defensive player last year. Sean Lee's clearly been the best defensive player this year.
We've hit the 2-minute warning here in Landover. Mike Shanahan's team moving the ball, hasn't gotten in the end zone. It's the Cowboys up 14-6. 14-6 Cowboys, 2 minutes to go in this first half. Kirk Cousins has a 3rd and 9. We're lining up. But Cousins has time on loads, and he's got a completion in the Cowboys territory. It's Garcon again, who's had a big first half. 26-yard game.
That's one thing Kirk Cousins can do. He's going to find the right guy, but I love the authority. He lets it rip. I mean, there is torque going on in that throwing motion. He said he's always been a natural thrower of the football, can get some juice on it. It's impressive to watch. Redskins
Hurrying it up. Cousins again. It's Garcon on the cross, and it's another Redskin first down. He's down to the 28. It's a gain of 12.
Watch out, Art Monk, because he's coming after your record, and Kirk Cousins is making sure of it.
He's already got 8 catches for 107 yards, John. 2 more catches will tie that Monk record. What a half. Palou is in the game at running back. Blitz coming, and Cousins just lets it fly and gets dipped. Heath came on the blitz.
Well, Jeff Heath going to come on up and come right off the edge. Not enough to block them all. Cousins looking for the hot, but no one reacts. And Jeff Heath lays the lumber on him. Cousins looking for the hand up, and Heath says, "Nah, this is Cowboys Redskins."
I mean, come on. That's not going to happen. It was a good try by Kirk Cousins. That's Fred Davis in motion, number 83, on a 2nd and 10. Cousins firing, incomplete. He was high on the middle looking for Josh Morgan. Barry Church on the bounce. And a 3rd and 10.
One of the things Kyle Shanahan, when I was talking to him yesterday, said about Kirk Cousins, he throws with such confidence. There's going to be some picks. You can't just get back that gunslinger mentality. He's going to throw it to the right guy, but because he throws with timing and anticipation and throws with such authority, there's going to be some picks. We saw him last week, and we've seen a couple near misses today.
And now 3rd down and 10. With 55 seconds to go in the half. Play clock at 1. They'll get it off. And Cousins has all kinds of time and throws behind Moss. Intercepted. And there it is, John. You just talked about it, and Jeff Heath picks it off.
On the common denominator with his picks have not been the decisions. Good decision here to get it to Santana Moss. They've been behind receivers. When you throw behind, deflections and things of that nature take place in this league, and Jeff Heath brings in the interception for the Cowboys.
The rookie gets his first career interception of the Cowboys with a big stand. Aerial coverage today provided by Nationwide Insurance as the sun pokes out for the first time all day after pouring rains earlier. Said it was supposed to be that way all day, but weather's getting a little bit better. After the interception by the rookie Heath, Cowboys have 47 seconds left. Deep in their own territory, so they give it to DeMarco Murray. He's got a good impact on this first half, out to the 14. And Murray now with 62 yards in this first half, a gain of 7.
See Kirk Cousins, and you like to see this. Robert Griffin III, been a tough year for him. But you got to be there for your buddy. Kirk Cousins has been there for you. Robert Griffin sits there with Kirk Cousins, counsel him. They look at the pictures together. You got to love that from Robert Griffin III.
Hey, hold on now.
14 seconds left. Looks like the Cowboys are just fine taking it to the break with their 14-6 lead. They will have to snap it one more time, or they could take the penalty here. And it looks like they will do that, and that will take it down. And that will do it for the first half here in Landover. So the Cowboys with a couple of touchdowns to the Redskins, couple of field goals. It's 14-6 at the break. Now to L.A. Kurt Menefee and the boys with the halftime show coming on up.
Welcome to the Visa Halftime Report. What's your football fantasy?
And welcome to Visa Halftime. The Cowboys winning a game they need to win right now. But what about this battle in the NFC South?
Feint to Panthers. Panthers in the red zone. Cam Newton's picked off here. Bad Malcolm Jenkins. Ball pops up in the air. And then that's a costly penalty, of course, for Carolina. Huge game. Carolina lost earlier 2 weeks ago, actually, to the Saints. Saints then, Thomas Moore attempts an onside kick. Saints recover it. Gutsy call by Sean Payton and his coaching staff. This led to a Saints field goal. It's 6-0 New Orleans. Steve Smith with an injured hamstring. Buddy watches his buddy. D'Angelo Williams up the middle, 43-yard touchdown run. Good ball game. Carolina up by a point, 7-6 over the New Orleans Saints. All right, Vikings at the Bengals. First quarter, Andy Dalton back. Looking for A.J. Green to take off route, a fly route. That's all you need. One step. There it is. Perfectly thrown ball, man-to-man coverage, and it's 29-yard touchdown, makes it 14-7 Bengals. Then Matt Castle's picked by Vincent Ray. He takes it in from 25-yard touchdown. Cincinnati Bengals impressive. A hard football team to beat at home, 27-7, with a little over 2 minutes remaining in the first half over the Vikings. Buccaneers and Rams. Jake Long had him to leave this football game. The left tackle injured his knee. And then Rams run a reverse. Stedman Bailey takes it in. From 27 yards out, you get over pursuing from the backside. They call a reverse. Kept the pursuer down flat, get around him. Touchdown, 14-7. Rams on top of the Buccaneers. Chiefs, Colts. Colts at the Chiefs. Jamar Charles off right tackle, bounce outside. Break a tackle, cut inside, good blocking downfield by the wide receivers. 31-yard touchdown, 7-0 Chiefs. Andrew Luck then stepping up, a drag route, slowed down. The check down is all it is. He looked deep. Everybody was deep covering it. Just dropped it off to Donald Brown. Donald Brown takes it in from 33 yards out, 13-7 on top of the Kansas City Chiefs. Peyton Manning, Wes Welker, of course, on the sidelines, out with a concussion. Matt Schaub, though, getting the start, sets up, play action, firing to the left side. That is Andre Johnson. 33 yards, 100th reception on the year, 5 seasons in a row with 100 receptions, tying, of course, or joining Wes Welker. Then Manning to the Marius Thomas, 36-yard touchdown pass, 13-6 Broncos on top of Houston. Miami at Buffalo. Joe Philbin and the Dolphins can clinch a playoff berth with a win and losses by both Baltimore and Cincinnati. But it's Fred Jackson. Fred?
Cole College.
Cole College. 9-yard, right up the middle, touchdown, 10-0. Dolphins 1 week impressive. Next week, who are they? It's Dolphins losing 10-0. Of course, Browns at the Jets, second quarter. It's Edwin Baker in from 5 yards out. Cleveland 10-0 over the Jets. And I guess Rex is right. He is fired.
Maybe not yet. He's still got a second half to go in that game. Also, another half to go as the Jaguars look to get back on their winning ways. 13-6, they lead the Tennessee Titans. Let's get back to Washington and Dallas. Jimmy?
Yeah, Kurt, when you look at these two teams, the biggest advantage that Washington has is probably really running the football. But the only thing is, the big advantage that Dallas has is on special teams. And when you're a running football team like Washington, you have to be good on special teams to get field position. Well, right off the bat, what does Dallas do? Spurlock takes it down to the 5-yard line. So they lost field position and actually lost the score. So Washington, being bad on special teams, puts them at a big disadvantage.
When you look at the stats, though, everything gets skewed towards Washington. They're out passing, rushing wide. DeMarco Murray is having another big game.